Welcome everyone back to another Coach Blakers video. For those of you that are new who don't know who I am, my name is Coach Blaker. I've been professionally coaching for going on 10 years. I am Diamond in every single role and I peaked Diamond 2. I mentioned that because this specific video is about ranked. So if you're a normals player, then this doesn't pertain to you. Go on about your business. But what does pertain to you, go on to CoachBlaker.com if you're interested in getting better and improving your gameplay. Look, I'm just saying I gotta squeeze it in somewhere. If you really feel like you don't have impact in your games, if you just want to get better because you feel like you can't keep up with the games that you're actually in, maybe you can't keep up with your friends, whatever the case may be, check out my site and I promise there's something for you. CoachBlaker.com. So the first thing on our list you should never do is play multiple champions or multiple roles. Now let me explain why. And a lot of you guys that are serious about getting better and improving, the excuse is, I want to learn the most about the game, right? I want to get a better understanding of the game. This is further from the truth. It doesn't actually help you. Let me explain why, because Coach Blaker break it down like nobody else can, okay? So we have 160-ish champions, right? If you cut that in half, we assume that we have 80 matchups. So one champion into 80 matchups, right? If you play multiple champions, you have to learn again those 80 matchups. Now let me break it down even more. If you decide to play another role, you're not only playing another champion, but you're also learning the matchups of that role, like how it actually functions. As an example, mid does not function like top in terms of laning phase. Top doesn't function like bottom in terms of laning phase. Jungle doesn't function like anything in terms of early game phase. So you can see that you're not really getting a better understanding of the game, because why do you need to learn about laning phases? Unless you're a jungler, you don't really need to learn how to play mid if you're a top laner. You don't really know, right? You don't really know how bot lane needs to run if you're not a bot laner, right? It doesn't really make much sense to go about it that way. And you could say, well, I like to learn about the champions. Go in practice mode. Go in normals. Don't play random champions in your ranked games to understand more about that champion. Now to break it down even further, we have 3 stages of the game. 3 stages of the game. We have early game, we have mid game, and then we have late game. So that's one champion, 80 matchups, 3 stages of the game. Not every champion lanes the same in terms of CSing, so you have to learn how to do that. Not every champion has trades. If you're a jungler, not every champion clears a jungle the same. You gotta kite differently. And so how's this really helping you? Because you're never gonna play that champion again. And why does it matter if I learn how Syndra combos? You'll figure it out once you combo you. Okay? So you learn it that way, right? It doesn't actually help. I promise you, it doesn't help. There are multiple players in high elo that I've coached that do not understand how some champions work. But why do they climb? Because that does not matter. How you play your champion, how you play your role matters the most. Because if you play better than everybody in your game, you will climb. I promise. But if you're spreading yourself thin, being average at everything, you're going to be in an average rank. The second thing you shouldn't do is duel with someone off role. Now let me break it down again. Like I said, I'm not just going to hammer some information at you. I'm going to break it down. Why do we not duo with someone off role or off champion? Because your chances of winning are lower. Let me put it that way. All right. When you duo, you're going to get harder games. That's how it works. I coached a writer. They explained how this works. Not in great detail, because they can't tell me everything. But I questioned it. They give you harder games. They intentionally give you harder games. And also, if you're a duo, you or your duo is most likely kicking someone off of the role that they main. Think about it. If I queue top and my duo queues mid, you're telling me that the other 3 players that we're playing with chose to not play mid or top, especially since mid is the most popular role in the game? Doesn't make sense, right? So not only are your games harder, but you are knocking people off of their roles, meaning that they're already off roles. So your games are harder, and you are already trying to carry someone that doesn't play their role. Okay, so the reason why we don't do that is because if you lose with your duo, if I'm gold 4 and the duo I'm playing with is gold 2, if we lose, our MMR is going to drop drastically, especially the one that's the higher rank. because the game is basically saying you should be winning this. You're gold 2 and your duo's gold 4. There's no way that you lose this, right? And you lose. Your MMR drops lower. And that means subsequent losers are going to make you gain less LP. We end up in the 10 LP gain phase territory. We end up in 11 LP gain phase territory, right? We end up in we're losing 15 to 20 LP because we do it with someone and we lost game after game after game after game because we're friends and we're having fun, and now you're stuck and your duo is not stuck because they're not in that situation that you're in. Only duo when you guys actually are serious about climbing. And on top of that, if you guys lose once, stop. I promise you, it helps a lot. If you lose once, stop doing it. I don't care if you guys play ranked. I don't care if you guys play normals or whatever, or you just solo queue. But if you duo and you lose, just stop. It will save your MMR from dropping like crazy. I promise you. The third thing is do not treat your teammates like bots. I don't know how many videos I've seen. I don't know how many students I've heard say this, where they say, you know, coach, I was taught to treat my teammates like bots. Don't do that. They are your teammates. They might not be that great. Okay, they might be a little bit bad, but they're your teammates, okay? If your ADC Jinx is 0-3, it's not a bot. She'll come back and scale into the game. It's not like she just sucks. She's just behind. You were behind before. Y'all know dang well when y'all be complaining, y'all got matches in y'all history being 0-82. Look, I know. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy that flames someone for doing bad and your match history looking redder than a strawberry. Don't be that guy. It's okay. Treat your teammates like teammates, you know. Rotate when you need to. Try to help when you can. Ping them to assist you when you're going to do something, so that way you have a better chance of actually winning the fight or winning whatever you're trying to do. They are not bots. They are teammates. They might suck a little bit more than your last game, but work with them. I promise you win more games that way. Now, this is kind of a second part to that. Don't treat the enemies like they suck. So I'll see this a lot, especially when I'm coaching, right? Players will do some weird stuff because it's like, well, I'm in this elo, right? I'm silver, so it doesn't get punished, or I'm silver, so I can either easily do this. And I see videos and coaches tell players that are in silver and gold what to do to get out by basically saying, if you do this in gold, you will get the platinum. But then what happens when you get the platinum? You're gonna be stuck because it doesn't work. It does not work, right? So why does it look like this is laggy? Hopefully it's not laggy to you guys and it's functioning all right, but it looks a little laggy on my... Anyway, they don't suck. I always say play the game and see how they play first. Once you notice that the enemy mid laner isn't zoning you, even though that they're a champion that's very, very good at zoning, then you abuse that. You take advantage of, like, oh, you don't play your champion. Oh, you don't play this role. I'm about to clap your cheeks. But don't just go into the game thinking you're gonna clap some cheeks, because you might be surprised. There's a lot of low elo players that are actually really good at the game. They just don't climb, because they haven't got Coach Red, Coach Blaker. CoachBlaker.com, I'm just saying, that's where you want to go if you trying to reach your goal by the end of the season. 2 months left. The fourth thing you should never do is rotate to every play without thinking if it benefits you or your team. I'll see this a lot, especially in lower elos. Like after Diamond, it doesn't really happen too much. They just say good luck. But in lower elos, I've noticed that there's like a trend that you guys will help your teammates out even though it won't help you out. As an example, just a very, very simple one, low elo players tend to leash a lot longer than high elo players do. You might not notice that. Go watch like, I don't know, a high elo player or whatever. High elo ADC, support, jungle. You'll notice that they leave really early. But in lower elos, they'll leash until about 100 HP on that buff. This indirectly makes you later to lane, meaning that you have a higher chance of losing your lane. You're not going to get level 2, and you're probably going to be shoved in, all because you leashed your jungler. Another thing is like rotating to a fight you know that you won't win. Another thing is like a jungler having their Gromp taken, but you know that you're low and you know that you can't help. Let the Gromp go. It's okay. Don't rotate to things unless it's going to benefit your team. If we go to help with that Gromp, do we get a kill? Or are we just letting them get Gromp? We're just letting them get Gromp? All right, then I'm not going to rotate. It has to benefit both of you guys. It has to benefit the team. So before you start rotating, think about that. Last but not least, do not risk it all for dragons and barons. I'll see this a lot. So there's like 2 stages of dragon and baron when it comes down to no matter what elo. There's 2 stages. You have the baron or dragon dance, where like both teams just stare at each other, and then you have the initial a fight breaks out, or the person with the most people just do the dragon and baron, and then y'all just watch. That baron fight dance or whatever takes about 15 to 30 seconds to kind of commence. Sometimes even longer. If you just leave the area because you know you can't get the dragon or baron and you go farm for 30 seconds, and then you go farm for the remainder of how long it takes for them to take the objective, you're scaling into the game and you're just getting free farm. You can even get towers. You can get a lot of things done if you're just not there hovering, standing around. So do not risk it all. Do not try to go fight for a Dragon and Baron you know you're not going to get. Do not go look and participate in the fiesta of Baron Dance and Dragon Dance, even though you know you're not going to get it. If your jungler's dead, you're not getting the Dragon. Let it go. I promise you. You get a lot more gold and you'll be able to carry a lot more games if you think about why you're rotating and thinking about, is it even worth me doing it? And a bonus little thing here is do not, and I repeat, do not, the most crucial, do not try to explain to your teammate why you did or did not do something. It does not work. I promise you, no matter what you are, no matter what elo you are, it is not going to work. If I decide not to go to Dragon because mid and support are dead and it is going to be a 2v4 if I go to that Dragon, my jungler's gonna be mad because they're gonna go and die. Do not waste your time saying, it's a 2v4, we're not gonna win. Because he's gonna, or she is gonna respond with something stupid like, we could have won if, well, we should have won. It's a 2v4. Anybody in their right mind would say give up that dang Dragon. So it's not gonna work. Do not, I repeat, do not try to explain this type of stuff to your team. Either mute them if it bothers you, or just don't respond. Let the play move on. It's not gonna work. They got thick skulls. It's just play the game, all right? So those are the 5 things you should not do if you really do want to climb in ranked. I hope this helped you. If you got any questions, of course, let me know. Come to my Discord. We'd love to have you. Watch my stream if you want to ask me questions there while I'm playing live. Twitch.tv/Coach Blaker. Also, if you're interested in coaching, like I said before, CoachBlaker.com is where you want to go. Have a wonderful rest of your day or night. And thank you guys for doing what? Approaching this like a coach.